Hey, good morning. It's another First Five. I don't know about you, but there's something about how we kind of separate our lives into really multiple categories. I mean, maybe we shouldn't, but here's what I mean. When I go to work, there are certain clothes that I wear, certain things that are appropriate. But when I get home, I like to put on sweatpants, a t-shirt, and if I could wear a hat all the time, I probably would. But I know there are times it's not appropriate. I mean, for some of you, you're like, well, I can wear almost whatever I want to work. But my guess is you're not wearing your flannel pajama pants to the office meeting. That's probably not going to happen. But what I'm getting at is this, that we often try to separate parts of our lives. We have what we call our public life, work, school, whatever that might be. And we have what we call our private life, when we shut the door to our house, and that's where we live and we do things different there than we do on the outside. What I've come to understand when it comes to following Jesus is that there's no such thing as public and private. It's all one life. In fact, what Jesus makes pretty clear to us is we're called to live a life of worship. And so this scene in John chapter 4, in verse 19, we'll look at in just a moment, a scene where Jesus has been talking to this woman of Samaria, this woman at the well. And in this conversation, they're going back and forth, and he asked her for a drink, and here's where we pick up from verse 19. The woman said to him, "Sir, I see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you say that the place where people must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know. For salvation is from the Jews, but the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father seeks such as these to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." Right? This woman had bought into this understanding the Jews bought into as well, that the only place they worshiped was in Jerusalem, that there was a particular location. Now, it's not to say that there aren't locations that are valuable for us in practicing practices of worship, but it's to recognize that worship is not something we do in one location. It is something we do everywhere. It's how we live. It's what we do every single day. So whether you're in your work clothes or your flannel pajama pants, doesn't really matter. We're called to worship God in whatever setting we find ourselves. And so as followers of Christ, there's neither a public life and a private life. There's just our life. And so the question we wrestle with is, are we willing to live a singular life seeking after Jesus? Are we going to live our life how we want and try to separate our lives so that maybe we think he can see what's on the outside, but I can shut the door to my house, to my life, and live how I want? But in reality, we know Jesus sees whether the door is shut or not. And he invites us to worship in the words that he uses here, in spirit and in truth. In other words, with our whole self, to rest in God's presence, whether I am at work or on the couch. And so we can learn to live in the presence of God, to enjoy worship with him in every aspect of our life. And so it doesn't matter whether you wear your sweatpants or your dress pants. You can learn to live one life seeking to follow after Jesus. And so it's my hope that you and I will begin to do that more and more, that we'll recognize the presence of the Father, that we'll find, as Jesus offers this woman at the well, this drink, this water that gives life. And in other words, what he's saying is this, that if you'll follow me, you will find true life. And so may you and I this day find that true life. May we rest in it, and may we invite others to come to it as well. May you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.